Shalom, we give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh by Shemi Awashai, by Shimmer Kakadash. Give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and shalom to the elect that's pushing out this word throughout the four corners of the globe in sincerity and in truth for the edification of the house of Dawadah. This is why we do these lessons. Shalom to you. Hope you're in good spirits. People, the lesson for the day is people always make an excuse for people to break the law. I titled this, Breakers of the Law Always Excuse People to Break the Law. I was told, no, you don't have to go out on Sunday. You can break your own rule by not going out and having a barbecue and a good time with us. It's like, it becomes more and more evident that these people don't care about Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It's more and more evident, where we don't even have to, we already know this is what they're going to do. So when this person call you up or when this person texts you, you know what they're about. They're not about their creator. They're not about following law. They're not about being a disciple in Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus. They're just not their disciple. They're not of them. So this is so you already know, you already on notice who's who and what's what by the way they conduct, by the what they try to get you to do and excuse your actions by what they believe. Well, we're going to excuse our actions for them on what they believe. They're breakers of the law. There's no excuse for it. So we're going to say, hey, that's what they're going to do. But you're not going to excuse me for breaking my law or what the law has been given to me to do. Okay? When we look at Romans, the 2nd chapter, right, it says, for circumcision verily profiteth, if thou keep the law. Now, the circumcision is the agreement that Abraham had made with Yahweh, that when his seed becomes seeds and seeds and seeds, become generations, become a people, right? God had made a promise, Yahweh, that's his name in the ancient Hebrew, Yahweh, he made a promise that he's going to take care of the children of Israel, the ones who live by faith, according to the covenant, which was by circumcision. Then later on, Moses came up with the law, the whole law, and the whole children of Israel made a law, or made a promise that they would keep the law. So we all bound by the law, and even bound by the covenant that Abraham was given for us, because we are of Abraham, right? We're the righteous branch, the children of the Heavenly Father, right? The sons of God from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, we're the sons of God. So therefore, we're amongst that elk. We're amongst that group in which Yahweh will look out for. Okay? But if you be a break of the law, then this covenant, this promise doesn't apply to you. Just that simple. It just doesn't apply to you. But if thou be a break of the law, the circumcision is made uncircumcision. So that covenant is nullified by you, is nullified by your doings, by your actions, by your ways, by your thinking, by your excuses. Okay? So we're not going to excuse anything or any promise from God to keep us safe. Well, that don't make sense. Why would I neglect protection, prosperity, salvation, because I want to barbecue, because I want to drink beer or drink some liquor, sitting around a fire or the barbecue pit, just wasting time? Instead of being on a corner preaching his word, reaching other Israelites, teaching them the word, giving them the understanding and training them what it takes to be a child of God, a true child of God. Some may say, "Oh, well, you could talk to them around a barbecue pit, and you could teach them there." Well, if they telling me I can neglect going out in the corner to do it, it's only one day. How can I even allow them, right, to be amongst the righteous if they telling me to be unrighteous? Circumcision. When you look up circumcision, you know circumcision is just not the foreskin of a man's penis, because where does the foreskin come for a female? So this circumcision, this understanding of mawal, right, in the Strong's H4135, has to be something beside the foreskin of a penis. The foreskin truly mean, metaphorically, when you look at circumcision, the token, it means to be cut off or cut something off, sever. It says here to remove impure thoughts, separate, to purge, to break away from. So I want to break away from teaching the Bible, teaching my people, trying to fish for the elect, and sitting around fishing or with these people that I already know that's telling me to not go out and fish for the elect. It makes no sense. Don't be amongst them fishing. Be amongst us fishing, the ones who breaks the law and tell you to break the law, and okay you to break the law. Excuse you to break the law. Makes no sense. Just makes no sense to me. I understand, you got to be with family sometime, but family ain't going to save you. Family's not going to be there in your time of need when all hell's breaking loose, because they trying to seek their own salvation. This is what it's coming down to. And they got to seek a man of the Lord for their salvation. They have to go to a man of the Lord to receive salvation. It just doesn't work because I believe. You have to be a doer of the word and not just hearers only. Okay? Romans 2:28. It was kind of a long lesson, and I'll say this in every video. This is kind of a long lesson because what you're dealing with is two sides of understanding God. Two sides of understanding Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus. It's two sides of thinking. Two sides of an Israelite mind. You have those who are circumcised and those who are uncircumcised. I'm not talking about of the foreskin. I'm talking about of the spirit of understanding, to separate yourself from impure thoughts, to separate yourself from things that's meaningless. So it comes to an understanding that there's two separate sides to Yahweh Shem Shai's understanding. Those who believe and those who don't. Those who do and those who don't. Those who are willing to sacrifice and those who are not willing to sacrifice. Right? This is the beginning of the year. This is May. So it's not really the beginning, but meaning, there's birthdays and holidays and different things that's coming about till we get to December. Right? A lot of things is going to come about where you have to not do as the world do and do what Yahweh Shem Shai do on your way to salvation. Because that's what it's all about. We've done all those things. No matter if you're 20, 30, 60. We've done birthday parties. We've done backyard barbecues. We've done going out to different things. We've done all those things. Which leads us back to we have nothing. We're looking for a treasure in heaven, not here on earth. Romans 2:28, it says, "For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, Neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew which is one inwardly. Inwardly, that's in your thoughts, in your mind, in your spirit. That's how you become a Jew. That's how you become a child of God. When you do things inwardly, when you work out salvation in your spirit first, not in your hands, because you can't uh, make salvation for you. It has to first start in the spirit, in the mind. It says here, the circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not of the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of Yahweh. So if I go out to the barbecue, to the pool, to the vacation, I do these things, I'm doing it not for God, I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my wife, I'm doing it for my children, I'm doing things for my family. You got what do you call it? Family reunions coming up. See, all these things come about in the middle of the year, right where we at, when it start getting warm. People want to do things, gather together and stuff like that, right? So we doing these things. Oh, John showed up today. Oh, Kevin's here. Guess what? Yo, Kevin's here. So that's a praise of men. That's not a praise of Yahweh. So we trying to do things that's praise of Yahweh, right? And what Yahweh require of us? To keep the commandments and fear him. Fear what? Our destruction for not obeying. Acts 7:51, it says, you stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ear, you do always resist the Holy Spirit. As your fathers did, so do you. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? Because they persecute us, like they persecuted our fathers. They persecuted, you're not coming to birthday, oh, were you too good? Well, you can't leave the corner one weekend? And they have slain them which showed before of the coming of the just one. That's talking about Yahweh Shai. Of whom, see, the prophets knew of the coming of Yahweh Shai. Who was teaching the people this? How did the people know of Yahweh Shai coming on earth? Through the prophets. So if I'm not doing my job, if I'm not on my watch, how are you going to know? It says here, which showed before, or have slain them which showed before the coming of the just one, of whom you have been now the betrayers and murderers, who have received the law by the dispensation of angels and have not kept it. You have not kept this dispensation of the angels, receiving the law, understanding what the prophets have been telling you, what we need to do, where we need to step, where we need to go, what we need to do. It didn't matter to you. As long as we together and having a good time. As long as we all our family together. And they always want to, forget it. Romans 4:10. How was it then reckoned when he was in circumcision or in uncircumcision? Talk about Abraham, because it all stems from Abraham. And what you have to understand is the faith of Abraham that was in his mind first. That's how you become a Jew inwardly. So a lot of people will say Abraham wasn't a Jew. Well, he was a child of God. He was a son of God inwardly first. And this is what we're trying to achieve, that status. How was it then reckoned? Talking about his faith. When he was in circumcision or uncircumcision? Not in circumcision, but in uncircumcision, right? He didn't make the promise yet. He received the sign of circumcision. What was that sign? It says here, a seal of the righteousness of faith, which he had, yet being uncircumcised. And that's the point, that his circumcision was received, or the sign of the circumcision, of the understanding, the promise, right, was the righteousness that he saw or had by faith. That's what he had. He had the righteousness of faith, right, before the circumcision. right? He believed before the actual cutting and the token and all the promises that was told to him. He believed first. That's why he left the child, of his fathers. All his substance, everything he had was in with his fathers, where he lived and grew up. He took all of that, took his wives, took all of that, right? Took all his people and left by faith. This what made it right. This is what made him righteous. This is the sign he saw of the covenant. This is the sign of the circumcision, one inwardly first. Then it says here, it says the righteousness, it says a seal of righteousness of the face which he had, yet being uncircumcised, that he might be the father of all them that believe, though they be not circumcised, the righteousness might be imputed unto them also, and the father of circumcision to them who are not of the circumcision only, but who also walk in the steps of that faith of our father Abraham, which he had been yet uncircumcised. And the point is, walk in the steps of that faith of our father Abraham. So who was Paul speaking to when he talked about our father Abraham to the Romans? When he wrote this to the Romans, who was he talking about? All this uncircumcision and the faith of the circumcision, the sign of the covenant, the sign of the righteousness of faith of our father Abraham. That's a clue. It has to be Israelites. So this is who we speak to. This is who we need to reach. We need to reach those who believe first. Then the understanding of what the prophets had told about Yahweh Shai, right, who the world called Jesus, will come about. First, they have to believe. They believe without even knowing, without even taking on that covenant, that promise, not understanding of who they are. But if they believed, like they believed in the faith of Abraham, and this is the key that you will find or seeking for. This is what you're seeking for. You're seeking for that person or those people that have a faith in a belief that they have of the Bible. And that's the key point. It's not by the letter. It's not by the law that you keep or the things that you do. It's the faith first. It says here, Romans 9:6, it says, not as though the word of Yahweh have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel, neither because of the seed of Abraham are they all children. But in Isaac shall a seed be called, that is, they which are of the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise is counted for the seed. And this is who you're looking for. You're looking for that right seed. All seeds, right, are not useful. All seeds, can't be grown. Things can't grow because they don't have the faith, and they're not the children of the promise, even though they have the flesh. So we're looking for a specific bunch, not the ones that say, you don't have to worry about it this week. You could hang with us. Those are not the right seed, and you have to recognize that. Soon as you get that call, soon as you get that text, what you're doing this weekend, you already know what to do. You should know already what to do and say when these people come about. That's going to try to take you and pull you away from your job, your duty as an Israelite man or woman or child. These are the things you must recognize, because it's the Spirit that teaches you. It's the Spirit that shows you your way. Hebrews 4:1. Let us therefore fear, lest the promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you which seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached, Hebrews, as well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them. See, this is why Paul is saying in Romans that all Israel is not of Israel, because they heard the word, they were taught, they understand, but it seems as though we can excuse sometimes. We don't have to do it all the time. We can pick and choose. There's no picking and choosing when it comes to Yahweh Shem Shai's work. We have to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai first. Then these things will be added unto you that you ask for. It says, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. For we which would have believed do enter into rest. As he said, I have sworn by my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he spake of a certain place on the seventh day on this wise, that Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, did rest the seventh day from all his works. See, we ain't doing nothing. We can't compare to the works that Yahweh have done. So we constantly working. Because it says here, it says, if they shall enter into my rest, and the rest is Yahweh Shai. The rest is the belief in Yahweh Shem Shai. This is the rest. This is where the rest is at. Okay? When you drive along the highway, you see a rest stop. That's like Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shem Shai. You have to enter there to get that rest. If not, you're going to still be traveling. Okay? It says, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter them therein, and they to whom it was first preached enter not in because of unbelief. So they can't get it. They still traveling. They still looking. They still searching for that rest. See, that rest think they around a barbecue, eating barbecue, drinking beer, and hanging out. They think that's rest. That's not rest. That's more work. It says, again, he limited a certain day, saying in David, today, after so long a time, as it is said, today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts. For if Yahweh Shai had given them rest, then would he not afterward have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of Yahweh, for he that is entered into his rest, he also have ceased from his own works. Your own works is hitting that grill, as Yahweh did from him, but we still trying to figure out what that rest is. Let us labor, right, therefore, to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. Because what you're doing is you're still trying to figure things out, when it was already laid from the beginning. The works was already created. The works was created when Yahweh had made Yahweh Shai. That was it. That's all he needed to do, was make Yahweh Shai. When Yahweh Shai was made, right, everything after that fell into its place, into the place, because that was the order set for all to enter into that rest. And that rest is Yahweh Shai, who made the rest, who made it possible to rest, to give us the opportunity to rest. Hanging out and doing all these things that men do, thinking it's, a good time, but it's really not a good time. It's a temporary fix to a bigger problem. That temporary fix is a continuing of work when you do it by your own hands. But when Yahweh Shem Shai is entered into your life, into your spirit, and you walk therefore at that, then you're on your way to the journey into the rest. And we wait for that day for Yahweh Shem Shai to come back into this world, right, and take down all these rulerships, take down all these so-called kings, and plant righteousness here on earth in his kingdom. Then we can enter and be at rest. But until then, we got work to do. Our work is in him, and what he say do and what he say not do. These are the things that we're supposed to be incorporating in our spirit, right? These are this is the circumcision that we're supposed to get, right? By cutting off things and severing things and purging things from your life that's worthless, right? And this is what we're going to continue doing out of Ratazah till the end, until he come back and plants that kingdom here on earth. And with that, I say, call halal Yahweh Shem Shai, double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and shalom to the elect that's pushing out this word throughout the four corners of the globe. In sincerity and the truth for the edification of the house of Dawodah, say shalom.